Hi, I'm Maria, and this is the Agile State of Mind. Welcome! Today, we're in for the second episode of the onboarding series. In the last episode, we were exploring the company onboarding and how to get a system for that. And today, we're going to talk about the role-specific onboarding. So, how do we onboard a team member? And what about a team lead, project manager, or a QA? So today, we're going to move on and start working on an even more detailed checklist. We will learn about what should be on the list, how to create a system out of it, and how to set expectations and goals for the new joiner. Let's start! Okay, so we are on our first day on the job. What can we expect? Apart from all the IT and people meetings where we get to know the company processes, we're also looking forward to meeting our manager. We probably know them already because we met during the recruitment process, and now it's time to understand what are the expectations and goals for us. That's why what we would expect is to have a plan for us and some guidance. Also, clear expectations about the role and our performance would be most welcome, right? That will help us to pace our learning and decrease a little bit the stress that this whole new situation creates. And now, let's change the perspective and walk a mile in the manager's shoes. What are their expectations? As a manager, I want the new employee to ramp up quickly and efficiently so they start providing value for the company in a few weeks, let's say. Although, in fact, we want them onboarded and ready yesterday because all is on fire and the recruitment process took forever. Yeah. But let's try and be realistic. So once again, I tell you, get a system. Simple solutions work wonders. Get a blank page and start working on a checklist for the onboarding. This could be created collaboratively with other team members or with the new employee that just passed through the process and has ideas how to improve it. All in all, involve people because everyone who's in the company has passed through the onboarding and has thought about it. So where do we host this beautiful checklist? There are actually many places, and that's up to you. The advice I can provide would be about 3 different places. One would be Jira. If the new joiner is going to use Jira on a daily basis, it really makes sense to add the checklist in Jira. You can create an epic, that's the onboarding, and link to it stories with different categories. Then all those stories can have subtasks. I can't imagine a better way to onboard with Jira. You need to learn how the workflow is and how to put everything to done. And this way, there's also a very good overview of what has been already done and what's still in progress. And also, it's so easy to follow up. Have a template story that you update continuously and then clone it for the new joiner. 2 is the Confluence page or any wiki tool that you have in your company. My brother, a team lead for backend developers, has his checklist in the Confluence page. Even though it's very long, it's very well structured and clear. And thanks to the checkboxes, you can easily follow up on what has been done and where the new joiner might have some questions. The third tool would be just a simple spreadsheet. We will come back to that, and first let's see what do we even put in this kind of long checklists for the new joiner. So when you're onboarding somebody, you want to make sure they have access to all the necessary tools quickly. We all know how that works, and sometimes the IT department might need some help from us. So the checklist would be not only for the new joiner and for us to remember what to put there, but also for IT department who grants this access. Let's see an example of this checklist for a backend developer. First, we need an email. Whether we use G Suite or Microsoft, we want to have Drive and Docs and have all the tools available, Outlook and Office in case of the Microsoft users. Then we move on and we have the VPN. Then we have Jira, Confluence and Slack. How to fill in the profile. It is good to have some rules about that. For example, that the photo needs to show the face. In Slack, it's handy to see the position of the person, the team, if applies, and the location, where they are based. I like that my brother also listed all the channels that the person should be on the Slack, and also the people handles. When you tag a group, they get tagged. This probably works in a very similar way on Teams, and I think it's really helpful not to forget to add the new joiners to some certain channels. When it comes to the calendar, it's always good in a company to have a central place with all the distribution lists, like company all backend developers, given teams, because this helps everyone to send emails to the right people. And that's also important that we add these new members to those groups, and this way they also get the invitations for important meetings of the company and also for the given team. Then we move on to all the technical tools new joiners might need. In case of a backend developer, that might be GitHub, Sentry, Kibana, Jenkins, anything they need to start coding. If we have a product manager, we would have product board, Jira that we already mentioned, and some other tools they might need. Then we should also have links to any team agreements, software development processes, and good development practices that we agreed that we will follow in our company. And documenting existing processes helps everybody. This also helps the new joiner to understand the company culture and the way we do things. Another interesting option is to get a buddy for the new joiner. Who is a buddy? I will explain wider in the next episode. Briefly, it's a person from the same team and domain. From my experience, the best way to assign a buddy is to have a person from the same team and the same domain, if possible, who will basically show the new joiner the ropes. It's great for the manager because he can delegate part of the onboarding, and it's great for the new joiner because they have a peer, a colleague from their team that will be explaining to them all the processes, and this way they don't feel that they are interrupting somebody. They feel a little more free about asking questions and getting the necessary answers. As I said, the third tool was a spreadsheet or any Excel-like sheet. When I started recently in my new company, my manager shared with me a spreadsheet. It had 4 tabs in it, and it was one of the best onboarding tools I've ever seen. So what were the sheets? In the first one, there were groups, resources, and docs. There were links to important email groups, tools, and apps, along with the links to product training recordings. All this with a brief explanation what's it for. Second tab was great because it had all the people I should meet in my first 2 weeks. It basically had a list of names, roles, and description of topics to discuss with all those people. And it was great. I really got to know almost all of them in the first 2 weeks, and I had the chance to understand what they do and also ask my favorite question, which was, what challenges do you see with the current processes that I don't even know yet, but I like to know? This idea of sending short 15 to 30 introduction meetings into the people's calendars is great. I would really recommend it for any team to do it and to have it as a policy that every new joiner, when they come, create those short meetings so they can meet all the team in the first 2 weeks. It's important to give a deadline. This way we pace the onboarding. In case somebody is a little bit shy, they can always have the option to do those meetings with their buddy so they don't feel too embarrassed. And the good policy in a company would be that everybody expects those meetings to happen so it's not awkward and strange. And the last 2 tabs were about goals and expectations for me and my role. This is some great stuff. There you go. You have a guide of what success looks like for your onboarding and your role. As a manager, you are happy because you want them to convert the enthusiasm they have for the new job into high performance and focus on what's important. And for the new joiner, it's also great because we know what is expected of us, and at any point we can see if we are meeting the expectations. The third tab of the spreadsheet was about the expectations in 30, 60, and 90 days from joining. So simple, yet so powerful. With all the stress that accompanies starting a new job, having this clear expectation and clear list of things you should know, do, and explore by given deadline, like 30, 60, and 90 days, is great to manage a little bit the stress. I felt really calm. I could read what is expected of me, ask questions to what I don't understand, and feel like, oh, I can see that my 30 days are coming and I see that I met all the expectations by then. I think this is really powerful, and I think this feeling of relief, even before you go to the meeting with your manager, cannot be overestimated. And the fourth tab was called onboarding, and it contained even more links and things and was ordered by the day. So first day, first week, second week. This is a bit different way of compiling the knowledge from the development checklist in a spreadsheet and order by days. So this is good for any roles that don't belong to a team, because the team can really work on great onboarding for themselves. But more lonely roles or leadership roles, this could be a great approach, and it's a great tool to go step by step and pace the learning. So the spreadsheet, along with the onboarder tool I mentioned in the previous episode, there were two great ways to pace the learning for me as a new joiner. Onboarding is a special time for the new joiners, and it can be a lot of fun. So try not to overwhelm them. Imagine that in the first days they get so much information that it would be really helpful to only share general topics and get into the details maybe only in the second week, when they already are familiar with the general topics. And that's all for today. I hope this system, or rather a checklist, will be really helpful for you, and it will solve some pains of doing the onboarding over and over again. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye bye!